live the life beyond the boundaries we set on ourselves, to live and to run boundless, to be inspired, to achieve, to overcome the mountaintop in our life. Embrace the journey, become boundless.
Hello, Live, Run, Boundless family, and another beautiful Saturday morning out on the trails. Getting my sweat in. Everybody that know me the past few years run with me know that I sweat like my daddy. So with that said, I lose a lot of salt, and which is not good for me, because I thought I'd be hurting big time, cramping up, hit the wall, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. One day I recommend I've been taking for a couple of years is salt stick. That's what I take on my run. Now I don't take the whole bottle, but I put a little Ziploc bag, And so salt stick, they're wonderful for me. Will replace electrolyte, prevent me from cramping up. Yeah, if you want to try salt stick, haven't tried and want to try it again, go to saltstick.com. Use discount code Boundless21 and get 21% off your salt stick tablet. Hello, family. Welcome to another episode of the Live, Run, Boundless show. I'm your host, Kenneth Pinckney. And today at my guest co-so, we have Miss Montse Martinez, the triathlete, the ultra runner, the teacher, and a mother of four. Many hats she has. She is wearing and making it happen, But before we introduce our guests, I had to let the Live Run Boundless family know this episode is brought to you by Salt Stick. That keep me sweating, which is a good thing. If anybody know me, I sweat a lot, and when I put on those miles, if I'm sweating and you don't see a puddle of sweat coming down from me, because I do have puddle of sweat when I sweat. Now there's going to be a problem. So sweat come out of me, and so when that happens, I need that salt, I need that electrolyte, and then with Salt Stick, they come to the rescue and they keep me going, and they keep that sweat pouring down like the rainforest. So we're saying that, if you need something to keep that electrolyte in you, go to saltstick.com, use the code Boundless21 and get 21% off. Again, go to saltstick.com, get 21% off, and use code Boundless21. So there we go. So today's guest, it's kind of funny how the meta come across them. I come across them in a magazine called Trek, Trek for cyclists, triathlete, Boy, so the magazine, it came to my house. I mean, it had the right address, but it was like a different person. It wasn't my name, somebody else's name on the magazine. I guess the person before me, I guess he was a cyclist. So, but hey, so I was encouraged by the magazine. So, I opened the magazine, and to remind you, I'm not a triathlete, but I was encouraged by the magazine. So I opened up, I read through it. I came across an article on our guest, and just the gentleman who's a Trek ambassador, founder of 2 triathlon clubs in the DC metro area. Mm-hmm. And one of the clubs is called Grit USA, which we'll get into later. He also, I want to say, clothing designer. Hopefully that correct. Maybe not correct.
Slightly. I was one at one time, and now I do web design.
Web designer. So went for clothing, the web designer. Also, his mission is to bring awareness to the lack of diversity in the triathlete world. And his goal is to make sure people of color are into triathlon and endurance sport. So family, let's welcome Mr. or Coach Marcus Fit to the Live, Run, Boundless show, who knew he had a passion to achieve something greater than himself. Mm-hmm. So my man, Coach Fitz, how are you doing today?
I'm great. I didn't have any expectations coming on the show. Yeah. It's I watched a couple of the past interviews, and you've had some really awesome guests, and I'm always down to talk endurance sports, running, biking, and everything in between. So I'm down for the conversation. I'm excited to share some stories and definitely hear from what you guys been working on.
Okay, sound good. Definitely looking forward to it also. So you already listen or saw some of my podcasts or YouTube. Live Run Boundless is all about the journey, the process of becoming who you are. So tell the family about your journey, your life before you got to the triathlete world, just a little bit.
Yeah, I think I have a pretty similar story to most people in an urban community of how they've embraced sports. I grew up playing football, basketball, soccer, the typical mainstream sports. And, getting into high school, I had knee surgery. So the shift pursuing that in college kind of changed for me. And I was originally told I would never be able to run again after the first knee surgery, which I wasn't going to accept, being a knucklehead kid. And it led to more surgeries later down the road. So fast forward to 2015, I'm having my third knee surgery. And the doctor's like, if we don't do this surgery, you're not going to be able to really do much of anything. You're going to need a knee replacement very soon. So he said, pick an event to train for and to go into the surgery strong. And September 2015, I did the nation's triathlon here in DC. And then I had my knee surgery in December. And so through the recovery process of that, the aftermath of the knee surgery, kind of created this community of people that wanted to learn how to swim. And that's where we started District Triathlon. But essentially through swimming. We were already running. And then we added the bike later down the road. So that was the start of my triathlon journey. And I've always been a runner. I ran in college. I swam in college. So I had the foundation to be a triathlete. I just need to add the bike.
Okay. I like that. So running, swimming, it's always been some big part of you as a kid growing up,
Yeah, it's always been like my mom, she didn't know how to swim growing up.
Of course.
Yeah, like me and my sister, I have a younger sister, is 3 years younger. And the thing she really wanted us to do was get in the pool. To enjoy vacations. Stuff like that. So I had it from a young age.
That's great. Like I didn't have it at a young age, And I got that stigma, I think, for a lot of Black, liberty kids, not know how to swim and not grow up, I mean, I grew up close to the coast, or the beach, South Carolina, like 45 minutes away. We didn't go to the beach all the time as kids, but we didn't know my family know how to swim. I go in the water, plenty of water, like close to the edge, but I went to like a training. I went to like camp, I was afraid of the water and I just can't, and then I joined the Navy like at older age, like.
You had to learn.
Yeah, I had to learn. I didn't know how to swim. I'm coming like I'm the old man in boot camp. Didn't know how to swim. I had to start at a 3 feet kiddie pool. So but that's the stigma. A lot of Blacks not know how to swim. So but you gotta know.
But we get it. Like we look at kind of like the reasons why, like historically, but also, the culture of sports. Like swimming wasn't cool. And there's a reason why we pick up mainstream sports, I know. Athletes, the education, to career. There's no money.
I know.
Swimming. Unless you're making it to the Olympics.
I know. Absolutely. Well, there are only a few of us. Only a few. So, as a triathlete, who inspire you? You hit somebody inspire you to want to be a triathlete?
I never knew what a triathlon was.
Okay.
I never even heard of it. I just was searching for events, races, because I'd done like half marathons. Days. So like triathlon, I'm like, okay, like, all right, what is it? Because I knew I saw swimming. I think I looked for like swim events. I did masters swimming. So I was like, what can I do? Like, okay, I can swim. Do I want to do a swim event? Do I do a run? I'm like, oh, you can just swim and run.
Yeah.
And there was a bike. I was like, well, I got a bike.
There you go. There you go. I know.
You know, I never knew anyone who did a triathlon. Like I went in completely blind. Like I had no ties to the community.
Okay.
I just signed up and I didn't even train for it, to be honest. I just did it.
Did you just jump
get
out?
a bike.
Yeah. I love that. That's great. You know, anything about the sport, you know, you didn't train for it. You say, I just want to just go ahead. You just had that curiosity just to want to just go ahead and just do it, you know?
Yeah, just in the weight room. And I rode my bike to get a little bit better at the distance, because I just rode my bike to commute, you know, from the house to work. And actually, like 2 or 3 days before the race, I got hit by a car.
Oh, man.
In an alley, and my bike got totaled. So the insurance settled like quick. They settled that weekend. So one of my parents' neighbors was a NASA like rocket scientist. Like he was an actual rocket scientist.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Wow.
So he helped me look on Craigslist for a bike, and ended up buying a triathlon bike from the guy. He's like, oh, it's a great deal. Like I'll go up there, make sure it's all good. He built a wheel set for the bike.
Oh man.
And you know, I clipped in for the first time. The day before the race. And you know, he took me to figure out how to rack my bike. He gave me a bike rack for my car. And so funny, the bike cost more than my car.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like learning all these things for the first time. I'm just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And I get to the race, and the mayor of DC, Adrian Pinckney at the time, the only other Black person I saw. And I had no idea he was the mayor either. So I'm just like, I'm talking to him about how to prepare the Potomac, which is completely disgusting. But I had the time of my life. And I was hooked kind of ever since.
That's great. I love that story. That's great. You know, that process. So you get into triathlete. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Marcus, I have a question for you. Why is diversity so important to you when it comes to triathlon?
Yeah, you know, and that question comes up all the time. Like, why is diversity, why is representation important? And I mean, you look at anything where you're interested in, it could be any sport, it could be an activity, and you're more inclined to do it if you see other people from your community doing it. Other people like other people that look like you. It's just more inviting. And so and you also have different conversations, like from a culture standpoint, when you get into certain groups, and you can't have the conversations that you would have with your friends. That's also not welcoming and inviting. Like we have conversations about how do you care for your hair? Like, cool. You know, those are, you're going to have two different types of conversations between, like, you know, one group or ethnic group to another. There's different conversations happening. And I think there's a space for everybody. And, you know, there's also an intimidation level when you're not able to swim at a certain level or do things at a certain level, because that's not what your environment, you know, you grew up in does. You know, if nobody in your community swims, like swimming is a barrier. So we're looking at all these different, there's certain barriers that everybody faces, no matter what race or ethnic group. But there's levels to that. So kind of it can be deep, but on the surface level, if like that doesn't look cool or nobody's making it cool for you,
I know.
You know, it's not necessarily inviting.
Okay, thank you. And then another question. Let's talk about your creation of Grit and the purpose of it. Can you please tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, Grit. Man, so in 2016, District Triathlon officially was created. And we spent the first 2 or 3 years kind of organically building. So from about 2015 was like the process of coming up with a name and my recovery after surgery. And then the end of 2017, it became a nonprofit 501c3 charitable organization. And then after that, we're looking at the lens of the sport. And so within the first 3 years, we introduced like 113 fresh triathletes to the sport.
Nice.
And so as people are doing more and more races, there becomes this gap, right? Spectrum is starting to get a little dragged out. And so there needed to be a place for all these athletes that are now making triathlon a lifestyle. So grit was kind of like the answer to that problem. It's like, how do we bridge the gap between recreational athletes and elite level athletes? And there's this huge void. How do you get from point A to point B? And there's this gap that needs to be filled. So it started off, grit is essentially a development program where we try to knock away all those barriers, bring in sponsors, bring in partners.
That's great.
Everyone's chasing their goal. It may not be a professional athlete, but for some, they have a higher level of expectations, and we're kind of like form a very tight-knit community of like-minded individuals. So we have a 20-person cap that we accept for grit, and there's a little bit of a democratic application process. So we're not looking for the fastest athletes, but we're looking for, you know, that grit factor, that heart, or that hort, as we call it, to be a part of the team.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so you're looking for some people that like hungry for it, you know, to want to be a part of the team, that determined factor, something like that.
Yeah, and it's not just triathlon, it's all endurance sports. Like we have runners, ultra runners, trail runners.
Nice.
Yeah, we do, like, one of our kind of main events is called the Speed Project.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you heard of it, but it's like an ultra race. It's from Santa Monica Pier to the Vegas sign.
Oh, okay.
And it's a 6-person relay team, and you try to, it's as fast as you can do it. So like Nike sends a team, Adidas, Strava, like big companies send teams. And we've been doing it for, I guess, the past 4-5 years.
Nice.
So up at the California Santa Monica area. So
so we start right at the Santa Monica Pier. And it's an unsupported or self-supported race. So you get your own support, your own RV, you pick your own route.
Oh, nice.
It's kind of like a no rules situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, almost like we'll call that ELF, the ultra trail running stew. It's in my mind. So you go like they set the course record, but like the self-support runs they do. I can't remember the name. It come to me eventually, but that's great, you know. So you spend more of your time in DC. Also, you be out here in the Southern California doing the events also.
Yeah, we're pretty much like, I mean, we've done places all over the globe. We took a trip for 2 years to Cuba. There's a race out there. It's the Spanish American long course championship. And that's, I mean, it was a beautiful race. And you know, we've gone from like cycling events in Cali to training rides, Colorado. It's just everywhere. We had a teammate compete in Norway. I'll be racing in Abu Dhabi next year. So it's so cool. It opens up so many doors.
I know. I know it's amazing. And my next question is going to be about, have you competed in a race as a triathlete? But you already answered that. You have competed in some races as a triathlete. So what's some races that probably stuck out to you? And also, before you answer that, we started this whole triathlete, you know, thing, or whatever, I don't say thing, but become a triathlete. You ever thought you'd be doing what you're doing right now? I say it like that.
No, it's been like it. At first I never had a game plan. Like I knew I enjoyed it. But I think as I dove deeper, like now I'm getting more involved in like policy. A sport, getting involved with the governing body. and really trying to understand how the sport functions. I mean, because there's like 20, almost 30 governing bodies of triathlon around the world. So USA Tri is a small body compared to the rest of the governing bodies. And so really trying to understand how triathlon works on a global scale has been fascinating. And then how it works in conjunction with other sports. There used to be a dual membership between USA Triathlon and USA Cycling. And that's that has ended, but there's benefits between, I mean, through all of it, swim, bike, run. And there's gateways between the crossing over, like our goal is to try to bring runners and turn them into triathletes. Because we've seen that having a solid foundation in running creates probably the best type of triathlete, because it's hard to teach running, but it's easier to teach swimming and biking.
Is it?
The hardest thing to teach is running.
It's hard to teach running? You think so?
Yeah.
Why you say that? Why you say that?
I guess like on a high level, I think it's something like you can help evolve running technique and speed and stuff. But I think some of it is natural talent, and you have to like work with that. I don't think everybody can be a great runner. Everybody can be a runner, but
I agree.
Lead runner like Montse. Like,
No.
I think so.
Maybe there, and I'm sure there's plenty of people that will disagree with me if on that comment. But that's what I see.
Okay, that's cool. I like that. So your races as a triathlete, I want to say have you competed, but I want to change the question around. What are some of your favorite races you have done as a triathlete? So maybe some popular races. I don't know.
Man, that's
loaded question.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, obviously destination races are cool because they're different. You call them racecations.
Yes.
I'd say my favorite destination race has probably been Cuba.
Okay.
I mean, that was so awesome. It was just a great experience, like culture. Yeah. Like I've never seen so much diversity in a race.
Yeah.
That was the most diverse like race I've ever been a part of. I say locally, Chicago Triathlon was probably the best race and experience. Again, super diverse. Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize how fit of a community Chicago was. Yeah. Like it blew my mind. Like everybody's outside. There's like 3 months where people are getting it outdoors. Wow. And then winter comes and it's everybody.
That's true.
But within those 3 months, man, they're like we're everywhere, running, hiking, swimming. Like Lake Michigan was beautiful, and water was amazing. And I had no clue. Biking through the city was great. So I think that was probably my favorite local, or I guess mainland race, and then Cuba International.
Oh, pretty cool. Nice. So out of all the three sports, running, cycling, and swimming, do you have a favorite? Or if you had to choose one sport, which one would you choose?
I think when I first started the sport, I would have said running.
Okay.
And then I realized how much I have to improve my run.
Yeah.
On the level, because it's just fun. And now I'm like a little bit more competitive than I was. But now I say cycling. Like cycling is I think it's been a gift for me the past 2-3 years, and the places it can take you, the energy you get, escape a little bit from reality. You bike outside the city. Like DC is a great place because it takes like 15-20 minutes to get out the city. You're in like Maryland farmland, back roads, and it's just a different, and you come back and you're back into the congestion of everything, but it's so much freedom on two wheels, and you meet so many people, and it's like you can meet people through running. I think cycling, the type of people, and never talk about work. It's just like you have coffee with strangers, but you learn about their kids and where they grew up and different routes and routes.
That's cool.
And it's taken me places that running and swimming haven't. It's just a completely different culture than what I've been used to. So yeah, I say swim or cycling right now. Swimming is my least favorite. I think I've been swimming too long in chlorine.
Okay.
Well, Marcus, the next, sorry, go ahead.
I'm only going to throw you off, Montse. So what about you? You feel the same way?
You know what? I do. I feel exactly the same way as Marcus. Swimming is, well, you know what? I actually enjoy swimming in the ocean. I do not like swimming in the pool and doing my drills. It's like horrible to me, but it's something that has to be done. And then running, I have a love-hate relationship with running because as much as I love to run, when I'm running, like I rather be on my bike. If I see someone riding their bike right next to me, I just want to jump on a bike. Then if I'm riding my bike and I see someone running, I want to get off the bike and run because I love it. I love to run. But my favorite, just like Marcus, is cycling. And I just started taking cycling a lot more serious last year. And this year I joined a cycling team. And I feel like my level has increased. And I feel very like I see results. I'm getting stronger. And with running, since I'm not a talented runner, I just feel like I reached a plateau and I'm there, you know? And I can't get past a certain pace or else I feel like I'm gonna die. I know I have to work on it. But for cycling, it has come. I just feel like my legs are stronger. And my body just as a whole is better in cycling than it is in running. So I like it because I see results and I see growth.
It doesn't hurt as much either.
No, it doesn't. When you're running, you don't get a break. You're on your feet all the time. And here you pedal, you stop for a little, you go on the downhills. It's so much like it's better. You don't take a beating as much as when you're running.
Absolutely. You're right about that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So Marcus, I have another question for you. And it's funny that you mentioned that you didn't like swimming because this one is about swimming. And I just wanted to ask you because, you know, I've also swam like you have swam all my life since I was a little girl. I think I was in classes like for 6 or 7 years. But then I stopped swimming and I was just doing it as, you know, recreation. And then I started with triathlon again. And I feel like the technique in triathlon is very important. So I just wanted to ask you, how is your swimming? Of course, you said you've been a swimmer all your life, so you're probably very good at swimming. And what advice can you give to improve your technique as a swimmer for people that are hearing you? What do you suggest?
I mean, swimming is frustrating. It's very frustrating. Luckily, I'm fortunate to be blessed with natural swimming abilities, and it came natural to me. And I think like being consistent with swimming is something you have to do. Like you take a week off cycling, you take a week off running. Does it hurt you a little bit? Maybe. But you take a week off swimming and it takes a huge hit.
I totally agree with that one.
I
got a great story.
You have to be consistent at it. But from a technical standpoint, there's two different ways to look at swimming. It's like, all right, the foundational fundamentals of swimming, like high elbows, all that, the catch, reach. And then once you get to a certain point, you have to forget about all that. Everything you learned on foundational swimming goes out the window. You don't swim like that at a certain level when you're starting to like get faster and pick up pace and technique. Now it's like you have to break everything you learned. So you know, when I work with some of the athletes and my one-on-one athletes, the technique we do is how we match with your body. So it's more like focusing on rotating shoulders. So that momentum, we're focused more on momentum, and similar to running where you know, your gait and braking force, like you want to land under your body when you run instead of like overextending. You know, it's the same kind of thought process with swimming, is everything kind of comes under your I guess your body, and then you push through where you're taught to push down. And one technique that I tell people of how to improve their swimming is stand at the edge of the pool, put your arms out, and try to lift yourself out of the pool like this. It's almost impossible, but that's how they teach us how to swim when we're coming out, like reach, stroke, and then press down past your body. Like you can't swim like that. You can't get out the pool like that. And it feels like you're going fast, but that's just you fighting the water. So, but when you try to get out, you come like this and you push out the water. That's how you swim. So when you reach, you catch and you push under your body, past your body.
Wow.
It feels like you're not working because it's efficient. It's more efficient. And they don't teach you how to swim like that because it's a hard concept. We also call it the spaghetti bowl technique. If you take a big plate of spaghetti and you push it to your face, and then you throw it on the floor. So next time you go to a pool and it's time to get out, you notice you get out the pool like this.
Yeah.
You don't get out the pool like this. It's like impossible.
Wow, that's a great visual. Now I want to go try it. Seriously.
So that's like step one.
I feel like I think,
motion.
yes. Like I overthink it. I overthink this, you know, the stroke. But this is a great way to see it. Okay. Thank you.
Because you're using all that, your lats, using your deltoid, you're using everything in sync, where here you're just putting strain on your body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
We're learning today.
I already learned so many new things right now. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the next question, Marcus, what are your upcoming races and how are you preparing for them?
Yeah, I have I was supposed to have a trail race, I think December 10th. But I'm not going to do it anymore. I had a little bit of a bike accident. So I had a concussion. So I'm not going to make that concussion window. But yeah, you know, biking through the city, it's inevitable. Somebody's going to take you out. Almost inevitable.
Oh my God.
I wasn't even training. I was going to get food.
Man.
But luckily I had a helmet.
Yes, luckily.
I think on my race calendar for next year, I'm keeping it pretty low key on the tri racing. I'm only doing 3 races. So I'm doing an Ironman Lake Placid.
Nice.
I'm going to do age group nationals again. And then I'm doing a world grand final in Abu Dhabi. So I'll be representing Team USA.
Oh, nice.
And seeing if I can accumulate enough points to the series to make like Olympic trials or something.
Well, that's great. That's great.
For short course. Yeah. So I'm doing the super sprint and then the Olympic
distance. Perfect.
Okay.
Very nice. Very good.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. And then the next question, what has been your hardest race and why?
Man. Hardest race. And you could look at like, one thing I tell my athletes is every race isn't a race.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to triathlon, you stack up, we kind of break our races up into A, B, and C. So A race is what you spend the season training for and building up for.
Yeah.
So there may be races outside of A, B, and C. But like say one race you may only focus on the run, or one race you may only focus on the swim, or how you bike and run, and what does your legs feel like when you really try to push the pace on the bike and the run, and you may chill on the swim to save your legs. So it depends the perspective of racing hard, but I say putting it all together for an A race, my hardest race was age group nationals this past year. It was in Wisconsin. And that was the first time I experienced, like, I've ever gotten demolished in a race. And I'm like racing like some of my top times I've ever raced, and I'm still getting my butt kicked a little bit. So I opened my eyes to like the grander scheme of you know, national racing, which is what I'm changing my training. I'm focusing more run training now.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah. So going through that process kind of give you, I want to say, maybe awareness or a perspective of what you need to do to compete in that level. I gotta say it like that, you know. So go ahead.
Yeah, like, so I have a coach, and my coach is in Vancouver, Canada. Okay. So everything's pretty virtual, and you know, his recommendation is to join a track team. And I'm just like, oh, my body, man, I'm getting older. Those track workouts hit a little different.
Yeah.
So trying to gear up for more speed workouts.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was doing more foundational, a lot of like time-based running. So hour to hour wasn't about the mileage, it was about the time. Okay. Doing some interval training to offset some of the time workouts. So now we're adding in a little bit more speed to the time.
Okay. All right. How that be going, the speed? How that be doing to your body?
Hurts.
Yeah, it hurts.
It hurts.
Yeah. It does hurt, but like, man, you're glad you done it. You can feel how you're getting better, you know. And we got to go through that process, you know. Got the process we got to go to, you know, to get better.
Yeah, and the hardest thing now, you know, because triathlon isn't my full-time job or anything.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is it's harder to recover than it is to train.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how important sleep and recovery was. And that's one thing that's always been hard ever since I started, is getting enough sleep, but recovering properly. So really opening up my hip flexors. Because I noticed it's your springboard. We all kind of know that as runners, the biomechanics of running. I gotta pay way more attention to that now.
Yeah, definitely. Especially as you get older, you know, you got to pay more attention. You know, you're not the same when you're young. You got to jump back, get right back up. You know, you gotta really take care of yourself, do it in the right way. You know,
right? Yoga. You know, I'm like, it hits a little different just putting on socks.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Well, yes, indeed. Well, we're going to talk about something, one of your accomplishments that you had not too long ago. Something major, like you were the winner of the 2020 USA Triathlon Coach of the Year Community Impact Award. You remember that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does it mean to you to receive such an honor?
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that come through, I mean, it took it a while to sink in, because there's so many coaches, there's so many candidates, and to be selected for something like that, it goes a long way, and it adds to that representation. Because to me, it's like, if you can see it, you can do it. And to be my age doing something like that, I think sheds a light, like being into the high school and talking to like other high schools and even collegiate athletes, that's not part of a lot of people's conversation. And it also, before, there wasn't a lot of incentive to me talking to parents or kids about triathlon. You know, it's like, okay, beyond health and wellness, like what are the other things when you talk about like, you know, socioeconomics and you know, why should anyone do a sport like this? Because it is expensive. And so now, like, that USA Triathlon is creating like an NCAA path It's becoming a NCAA sport.
Nice.
Now the conversation about triathlon can change a little bit. So I feel comfortable going into schools, talking to, you know, kids that, you know, you can get an education through triathlon. You can have a career because of sport. I mean, that's how I got my education, was through swimming and track. That helped me pay for college. So before that, you know, the coaching that just helps amplify my mission. But it also, it makes it says that I'm doing something right. You know, it helps kind of like, all right, I might be on the right path to something.
Absolutely.
Question and second guess yourself a little less.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, Marcus, I have another question for you. How has your community, the people you coach, inspired you to do what you do? You were talking about schools right now. I'm a teacher, and I know that students definitely inspire you, and you also inspire students. And when you tell them about your experiences, they're like, "Whoa, I want to do that too." You know? So how?
No, I mean, it's so rewarding. So I started out my coaching journey as a swim coach. So when I guess after college, I moved to Dallas. I was in Dallas for about 2 years, and then I came back. And one of the first kind of gigs that I picked up was coaching, varsity coach for a public school in Maryland, in Hyattsville, Maryland, Northeast or Northwestern swim program. So I helped build up their swim program. And most of the kids didn't know there was a swim team. And kind of like my way to get in kids was like, all right, football players, basketball players, like this is going to make you stronger, faster, athletes to cross train. And then that's kind of, I got a lot of soccer players, but also a lot of kids didn't know how to swim. So I'm kind of pulling from all these different areas. And I noticed the experience that we're having, they had no idea, like they were finding like these new communities and new kids and to become, you know, friends with, but also like I was getting something out of it.
Of course.
And they were inspiring me, and I had no idea the impact that I was making. Like I still have conversations with some of the original group of kids that I had. I was a coach there for 7 years. So it was just that kind of like really, I guess, molded my leadership skills, because I didn't have the confidence. I wasn't as confident then as I am now, and kind of like my role in the community. So I think that was a very pivotal moment. And you feed off the more you give, the kind of like it comes back to you, whether you're looking for it or not.
Absolutely. That play. I love that. You know, just giving back. You know, you're doing from the heart. You know, and just and not expecting anything in return. You know, so but
it's tough. You know, the fact that kids were showing up at like 4:30 in the morning.
Wow, that's amazing.
Practice before school. I was like, well, if y'all are here, I guess I'm here. You know.
Wow.
You know.
That's very good.
That's commitment. You know.
For sure.
Definitely.
Okay, and Marcus, what is life for you outside the triathlete world? What is life for you outside all of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's trickled, the work ethic part, the commitment part has really trickled into my life. It's made, I guess, me a better person. I think sport has a huge impact on life outside sport. I feel like every kid, every school should make sport part of the curriculum. Because there's so many benefits. I mean, time management, work ethic, like communication, discipline, like it's so much. It's so important. It's not something that you can't teach. You have to experience it. And you find like there's been so many studies of like how a lot of the student athletes become like very successful in their careers because of sport. And how certain things overlap. And so I'm a freelance designer. So I've been working for myself for almost 6 years. And I think like the commitment I have to my career was elevated through sport.
Yeah.
You have to wear many hats, being a coach, being in a creative industry that kind of has similar, I guess, parallels to the sport of triathlon in terms of representation, in terms of awareness, even in a tech field that's growing.
Yeah.
There's still a lack of diversity, run in terms of race, but also gender, similar issues. So it's a lot of parallels between the two. And it's interesting. I reduced my overhead in the triathlon world because of my skill set. So they kind of help each other.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes. Before we get to the last question, I want to know what the impact that you want to leave in the triathlete world. Well, what the kind of legacy that you want to leave behind?
Yeah, I never really thought about it until recently. Like, you after like the Coach of the Year Impact Award, I ran for a board position recently. I didn't get it. But like having the opportunity to be a part of, the conversation, strategic branding for the governing body of the sport. I think the impact I want to make is making the sport, I guess, more inviting for all.
Okay.
And I guess the sport is expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not the main barrier is awareness, communication between governing body and certain demographics. And if I can like close that gap, I would that would be the impact. Is accessibility for all. On a I guess more of a socioeconomic status level is closing that gap.
Okay. So seeing your picture, I see you got diversity in your club and stuff like that. Are you still we getting there?
Slowly. The needle is moving real slow, but it's happening. And I think, overall, the sport, I think, is suffering, at least in the US. Between like 2019 and now, like there's been 40% reduction in participation from start to finish.
Okay.
And those are including people who have started the race and finished the race.
Okay.
Not including like DNFs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, there's a clear issue. There's also an issue with like Ironman, the name Ironman, like people associate triathlon with Ironman.
With that.
Is kind of interfering with the people embracing the sport. Because like, that's the intimidation barrier that we're trying to overcome. It's like, you don't have to do an Ironman to do a triathlon.
Okay.
So there's two initial barriers.
Interesting.
Trying to reduce. So
there's
work.
There's work. So the name Ironman, you kind of like holding people back for competing in the triathlete world because Ironman, because that
because it's so big. It's such like a brand name.
It is.
Sport. So like, it's a triathlon. It's a type of triathlon. It's a triathlon event, but triathlon isn't Ironman.
Exactly.
I learned a lot of stuff. We bring a lot of awareness.
People aren't aware there's like all kinds of distances.
It is.
One thing we're trying to do is make relays more common. So example, like if you're just a runner, you don't know how to swim, you can still compete in a triathlon because you have companions that can do the other events. And that's kind of like the gateway. So we sponsor some relay teams where we may just cover the cost of a relay.
Nice.
To bring some people from run clubs into the fold, and just really make and they're like, now I experienced my first try. I'm definitely on board. Like the willingness to bring their friends in to do a
that.
relay or
that.
to try a sprint or something.
Okay.
Kind of it increases. We almost have 100% conversion.
Wow. Man, that's awesome. That different. Yeah.
You're next.
Oh, Montse. Yeah.
No, you, Kenneth. He's talking to you. I've done it. Hey, I've already done it. You haven't.
Yeah, I'm open. You know, you just got to teach me how to swim. You know, just teach me.
There you go.
Yeah, I learned enough to get by the Navy. Then I mean, I know we got time before telling my story of learn how to swim in the Navy, but it took me like a whole month to learn how to swim in the Navy boot camp.
Okay.
And I live and breathe and eat it. That's all I done. 1 month in Great Lakes in Illinois, December, learn how to swim. And once I pass my swim call, I forget how to swim.
Oh, you know.
You gotta keep it going.
Gotta keep practicing.
I know.
It's a lifelong sport. It is. Sport you'll never
And a life
forget.
skill. And a life skill.
And a life skill.
I know. I've been saying for years I need to go back and learn how to swim. But I haven't done it.
Yeah. Very important.
Yeah, but yes. Leading to the last question, last question, I might say. So this is live, run, boundless. So what's your boundless motivation and thoughts in a few words?
And you told me to think about this question, and it stumped me, to be honest. It stumped me. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah.
I say do everything you want to do. Like there's nothing holding you back.
Yeah.
Experience everything you can. And just like I found my way in a triathlon, like it's the same way I've embraced like endurance events. And I think through endurance sports, you realize that you can tackle anything that you want to do with the right preparation.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think preparation is key. The same way you prepare for a job interview.
Yeah.
The same way you prepare for the event. Like I don't support I don't support doing something without proper training. Because you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to be completely unprepared. There is some beauty in kind of the mysterious, but you have to prep in some kind of way, whether it's your tools, like if the endurance biking event, having a tire changing kit, knowing how to change a flat tire, at least, even if you haven't gone the distance. But I say experience life, and be prepared. I think that's my motivation. There's no limit to your potential.
Absolutely. That's a great one. Take advantage of it while you can, the opportunity. So
tomorrow's never promised.
No, definitely not. But so I love that, and definitely got to be prepared. I learned the hard way sometimes, especially being an ultra trail runner. Well, I'm a baby ultra trail runner, but some of the races I've done the past couple of years, I didn't prepare myself fully enough. That kind of paid a price for that. That got a DNF.
Hey, but that's an experience you take.
Exactly, it is. You learn from it.
Oh yeah. I learned the hard. I learned the hard way, but it's great. But I don't regret it. Yeah. So you can't. So, but thank you, Marcus. I'm glad how things work out. I'm glad I got that magazine that came to my house.
Yes.
I'm glad I read through that magazine. I was curious enough to read through it. Piqued my interest. And I came across you. And just thank you.
Thank you for reaching out, and it's awesome to kind of like meet more people in the community, and this is the beauty of social media is connecting.
And,
like you know, we're not in the same place, and we can, you know, randomly stumble upon a magazine and reach out to them on social media. And then have a beautiful conversation. Like this is the part that I love
me too.
about social media. And it can be deemed as like, oh, this big bad wolf, but like, come on, if you utilize it, it's cool.
Absolutely.
For sure.
It can lead to some beautiful things. And I found some of my best friends because of this endurance journey, and some of it had to do with social media, and we've been tight for years.
That's great. That's great. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. But thank you. So
thank you, Marcus.
Yes. So if people want to connect with you, Marcus, how could they find you?
Well, you can connect with me through social media. Our team, Grit USA, is at grit.usa on Instagram, as well as I believe Facebook, kind of connected. And then my personal account is at coach_fits, FITTS. And you know, you can always ask me coaching questions about triathlon, running. So I'm on it pretty often. Yeah,
definitely. Thank you for that. Thank you for spending time on Live, Run, Boundless family. And Montse, before you got any last word?
No, Marcus, I just want to thank you for the advice that you gave me in the swimming. I'm going to definitely try it out. Thank you. And just sharing your experience. I want to wish you the best on this huge endeavor that you have going on in Chicago. Wishing you the best. Keep inspiring others. I love how you're trying to reach out communities that can't afford the sport, and how you're trying to bring it down so that it can be accessible to everyone. So keep it up, keep doing your best. And I wish you the best with your concussion. I hope you have a quick recovery, a speedy recovery. And thank you so much for allowing us to ask you all these questions.
Yeah, thank you. And it's great to learn about both of your stories. It's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Montse, for being my guest co-host.
You are welcome.
You was wonderful. And definitely, you got to be my guest co-host again.
You got it.
Yeah, and definitely my market, we got to connect again. Hopefully one day we meet in person, you know.
Definitely.
You better be part of your team, or maybe, I don't know.
You got to fill me in on your races.
Oh yeah, I got a race. I got a race in a couple of weeks. Well, I don't know. Yeah, so I've been up in Malibu, like a 50 mile. I'm gonna make my first attempt at a 50 miler. Yeah, man. Yeah, I said that, man. Yeah, definitely. So, I'll put myself out there. Yeah, I'll put my.
Hey, kudos to you. That is awesome.
Yeah, I hope I'll live to tell about it.
You will.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you, Live from Boundless family, for joining me, your brother, for another episode of the Live from Boundless show. Until next time, stay boundless.
Good things come to those who sweat. This episode is brought to you by Salt Stick. If you're a heavy sweater or prone to cramping, try Salt Stick. Use the code BOUNDLESS21 for 21% off.